G'day folks, here's my April collection update. G'day folks, Jeff here, welcome back to the channel. This is my April collection update. Been keeping the postman pretty busy, that's for sure. Now a batch of this is from, overseas distros and also some local ones as well. But yeah, I've also gotten a few things off Facebook of late. Not the marketplace per se, but just a couple of groups that I'm in of, Aussie metal, trade and sale sort of stuff. There's some tempting bloody stuff on there. So anyway, let's get into it. Alright, first up is one I got from Bad Habit Records in Queensland somewhere. This is Morbid Saint with Spectrum of Death. Love that. Well, I sort of love that cover. It's dramatic, though. I'll give them that. And it does fit the music pretty well. So this is a thrash band from Wisconsin in America. I think this was their... maybe they did a second album around the time, but this came out in 1990. The original one was pressed on some Mexican label of Vanzada Metallica, so bugger all chance I'd be seeing that in the wild. So I never had this. I got MP3s of it a while back, but always meant to get it. But yeah, saw it on sale there and thought, why not? I mean, this came out in 1990, so by then I was down the rather large rabbit hole of death metal. So thrash didn't really feature too highly in my purchases back then. But yeah, I'm glad I got this. This is intense bloody stuff. Kicks in immediately, just straight away for the throat. Really good evil sounding sort of raspy vocals. It's probably the highlight I'd say for me on this one. Kind of reminds me of, Satis and Creator. Quite a bit of that side of things. Really energetic drumming, which keeps it interesting, which I like. It can spoil albums when they've got a plodding sort of drummer, but it works well here. Occasionally they sort of slow it down. I think it's Assassin and maybe Scars have a few marginally slower riffs than just flat out speed like most of it. And there is a nice sort of breakdown on Damien, which honestly this needs a bit more of, I think. I don't know, I have issues with some classic albums like Darkness Descends by Dark Angel. Never really fully grabbed me. I don't want to say too fast because I listen to grindcore all the time as well, but it just doesn't have enough variety in it for my liking. Maybe I've got to listen to it more often. I don't actually officially own that, but yeah, I don't know. Sometimes thrash stuff can get just a bit too fast, a bit too samey after a while. I don't know how Satis on their Illusions album, the first album, they managed somehow to be ridiculously fast, but keep it interesting. So yeah, Morbid Saint, they're still bloody good, don't get me wrong. I might have to track down the new one, although I really don't like that cover art much either. But at least with these guys, they kept the Slayer sort of influence down to a minimum. There's only really Slayerisms in, I think, the last song, Beyond the Gates of Hell, which is pretty highly borrowing from Slayer, which is not a bad thing. I don't think I saw these guys. They played at MDF 2012, which I went to, but I looked at I always try and keep the sort of timetable little pamphlets they give out. And I looked when these guys were on, and that was them and I think Deviated Instinct were on at another venue at the same time. And I don't remember either band, so maybe I went for beers or dinner or something, I don't know. But at any rate, I'm glad to have this in the collection. Alright, up next are a couple I got from Total War Records in Queensland. Always good service. This is Chaosian with their Effigies of Obsolescence. This came out a couple of years ago. This is a Danish death metal band, although they don't sound like the usual murky undergang style. This is a lot more US death metal sort of style. I did download this at the time when it came out, but obviously didn't make much of an impact. But when I checked out their split with Dequisitor, yeah, it kicked in then, and I remember thinking, why the hell didn't I get this when it first came out? Because this is bloody killer. So yeah, quite a bit of the old incantation influence here, to tell the truth. Long, drawn-out growls and just sort of thick riffing, that's for sure. Really good dynamics in this, and the drumming keeps it interesting. It's always a bonus for me. And some squirrely sort of guitar bits as well. I kind of like the clean it's clean but warm guitar sound on this. I mean, it's not clean by any means, it's still horrible death metal, but it's just not quite as murky as a lot of the other stuff I listen to. So, and really deep and clear vocals that just give it a shitload of power. It's bloody good. I think it's the title track. It's quite the suffocation-y sort of feel to it, which is not a problem for me at all. And Etched Shadows brings the doom sort of element to it, and it just sounds tough as bloody hell. I think the last song, Festering Carcinolith, something or other. They try a few new things there, including like a bass solo, which was a little out of the blue. It's just on boring black vinyl, but you get lyrics and the boys doing the old hair in the face looking tough. So, bloody killer. Glad I finally got around to getting this. I'm going to check out their earlier stuff. There's like demo compilations or EPs or compilations or something I should probably track down. So, killer death metal. Also from Total War is a new Titan Blood album from the Visceral Abyss. This just came out on Norma Evangelium Diaboli. Yeah, Noevd, whatever. So yeah, Spanish black death metal, a very, very dense sound. I've been a fan of these guys for ages, so yeah, always lots of layers of filth. It's beautiful stuff. They use that classic sort of quiet start, kind of like the Ghosts of War start, where it's shitty sounding and you think, oh, is my stereo broken? What the hell? And then it kicks in and they're still just as vicious and in your face as always. This is rancid sort of stuff. There's notably more guitar solos on this, from the producer, who's also the lead guitarist, Javi Bastard. It was on the last album as well, so it's not too different than that. But yeah, occasionally the solos get a bit much for me, to tell the truth. I know they break it up a bit, but kind of loses a slight bit of the murky, horrible atmosphere by having too many solos, in my opinion. But it's still a killer bloody album. Sound on this isn't quite as deep and murky as their usual stuff. They're improving their sound, so you can actually hear a bit more, including some lyrics are almost discernible, which is disconcerting, but it's still crazy as though. It's not quite like Sad-X level crazy, but pretty freaking crazy. I do like it actually when they go slow occasionally on this as well. I think the second song's Sepulchral Carrion God has some slower moments that... Don't you slide out, bastard. Which, yeah, sound bloody killer. And there's like a strangely named one, which is, I've got to read it out, 700 Dogs from Hell. All one word, like no spaces. It's like a short sort of ambient track. So, yeah, this probably needs a few more listens, I've got to say, for it to really sink in. Comes with this big-ass booklet, which is very kind of weird. Like, this is cool artwork, and then... etc. I particularly like that page. And then suddenly it flips, and that's actually upside down, and then you're back to the normal one. Maybe it's intentional, trying to make it a bit more disconcerting, and then the last page is completely upside down. So, and then the front cover is up. I don't know. Maybe they're just trying to make you unsettled, but the music certainly does that. So, yeah, pretty unsettling stuff, but, yeah, just killer, horrible Black Death. All right, next up are a couple I got from Luke via Facebook. Thanks, mate. These ones weren't particularly cheap, but oh well. This is Aris Menda with Without Circumference Nor Center. Now, this is a black metal band from California, I think. They were part of the Black Twilight Circle, which was a very incestuous little scene in California of a lot of artists that were all the same bloody bands. The main guy in this is Murdenbad, sorry. The main guy in this is also in Shaitan and Dolavotra and a couple of other ones. I think a lot of these bands seem to start from the Ashtadas, because a heap of them were in that band that were predate most of these ones, including, guys from Rhinoceros and Volan and etc., etc. So this one, I've finally got this song. It only got recently reissued on, Androgyny Whore on vinyl. I have had this on tape for donkey's years. This is only the third press, unfortunately. It's not that super duper rare. So yeah, this came out, God knows, can't even remember when. Early 2000s. Let me just check. I still have it up on my screen. 2011. There we go. So yeah, this is wild black metal stuff. It's almost psychedelic sort of thing. Really long songs, like the shortest is 7 minutes. Tortured scream vocals that are just... Guy sounds like a madman on it. It's awesome. really long, intricate songs that have like solos running all the way through them. So after me whinging about bloody Titan Blood solos, there's way more in this one. But I don't know. It's they've always had a lot of solos in it. I really loved their album before this as well. I've got most of their stuff except for that latest one, something about a spider dungeon that's only released on record at their shows in America or something or other. So they're now multiple hundreds of dollars on Discogs. So yeah, it'll be a while till I track that one down, I think, for a decent price, and I don't want to pay 400 bloody bucks for it. So, but yeah, this bloody killer, I'll give you a squeeze. It comes with a gigantic poster of the cover art. The records themselves this might not show very well on camera, probably doesn't, but really spiffy, swirly sort of red sort of style. The booklet is superb. Killer artwork in it. Crazed sort of writing and so on. I don't know what's going on some of this artwork. It's pretty bloody killer stuff. So yeah, I'm happy to have this. I haven't actually read through the lyrics. So probably a bit scary to tell the truth, but I mean the rest of it's somewhat minimal. Like the inside of the it's just like okay. Fair enough. Which is pretty much exactly what the tape was. Tape, you got like the song track list and pretty much just that and track list. So, yeah. I'm very happy to have this. This one wasn't particularly cheap because there was only like 100 or 200 of them or something or other. So, for some reason they charged like wounded bulls. But yeah, this is one I decided to spend some of my small amount of earnings that I get from this channel. So apologies again that you have to put up with bloody ads. But yeah, occasionally it buys me fancy, expensive records that I wouldn't normally buy. Well, let's be fair, I probably would buy them anyway, but yeah, got to spend it on something. So yeah, I haven't really talked much about the music, but they're long and just crazed songs. It kind of reminds me a bit of Leviathan. It doesn't sound exactly like them, but it's probably a reasonable comparison sort of point. And yeah, I'm glad to have this on record. Like, I'm pretty sure it's all digitally available. I'll put links below to his page. So I think most of the stuff, which is why I do have the Spider Dungeon, whatever that latest one is, on digitally at least. But this sounds shitloads better than the tape, which is no surprise really. I mean, their tapes were a little many generation dubs sort of ones. I had fun times trying to get some of those tapes from their record label that were a little sketchy at times, but thankfully I got it on record now as well. So yeah, killer bloody stuff. All right, also from Luke was Ifanac with Capitulation of All Life. This is a Canadian black metal sort of band. This is the first thing I actually heard of them after I think Simon was plugging them. Simon from Explosive Action was plugging them a couple of years ago, and so I listened to this one and thought, that sounds pretty bloody good. Finally tracked it down. So this is their 5th album from 2021. Fairly straightforward sort of black metal. It's a bit of Emperor feel to it, maybe with less keyboards, like early Emperor that is. Super raspy vocals that are probably the highlight, really. And also does some sort of, weird moan, Attila sort of style vocals as well. This is the first album with, like, session bassist and drummer, although he'd done them all himself beforehand, and which sounded fine, so I don't know why he needed session dudes. The guy could obviously play. Some good razor-sharp riffing on, I think it's from Pestiferous Dreams, and, what is it, Beholding the Talisman of Doom is a pretty energetic song with a killer riff, although they've got some like female choir keyboardy sort of bits that, sounds a bit tacky to tell the truth, but what the hell. You can actually make out some of his vocals. Look at the boys looking evil out in the snow. Looks like no hair allowed in this band, obviously. So you can make out some, like Hail Satan and, Lucifer bits in the lyrics. I don't think it does actually come with lyrics. I tell a lie. And this charming inner, which I probably shouldn't show off for too long. And it's on fancy colour. Ooh, nice. So honestly, this one, I mean, as I said, it was the first. It was the first thing I heard of these guys, but I've gotten a batch of their other ones since, and I think I actually prefer like Green Enchanted Forest of the Druid Wizard. I just love saying that. I mean, this is still bloody killer stuff, don't get me wrong, but I think it's, what's the most Norwegian? Oh yeah. No, I'm not even going to read that out. The one with Persona. It sounds pretty damn Norwegian, I'd say. But and I think the last song, Fenian's Sword of Redemption, is like cover of some blues band, or what are they called? Offenbach's song Hey Boss, which he's changed the lyrics to or something. It's I don't know what the original one sounds like, but it don't sound like this, I'm sure, that's for sure. So overall, pretty bloody good. Nice cover art and stolen from Hieronymus Bosch. So, and yeah, this came with the usual Tour de Garde sticker and old mate with a crouching with his gun and, I don't know, Tour de thingy. So, yeah, happy to track this one down. It's been available for ages on like CD or something, but I thought, I've got all the other ones on record, might as well wait for it, and yeah, finally got it. Anyway, good black metal. Alright, up next is a split 7-inch I got from Grindhead Records. This is Blightworms from Canberra and Dark Horse from Sydney, I think. This is their split that just came out. So, yeah, Blightworms are just a rabid grind band from Canberra. Well, probably one of the better Canberra bands doing the rounds at the moment. They're friggin' rule. Just really heavy sort of grind, bit of, Rotten Sound kind of style with really chunky guitar sound. Mostly screen vocals, but he does some damn good deeps as well. I mean, he used to be in, what was it, Infinitum, killer death metal band from Canberra that, yeah, you can growl, that's for sure. So, they've got like 5 songs on here. Yeah, I can't remember which is a good song or not. They're all pretty short, I gotta say. It's not the longest of EPs, but it's furious, that's for sure. And yeah, they're absolutely killing it live these days. I saw them a couple of weeks ago with, what was it, Anti-Sapien, American band that was touring, and yeah, Blightworms were the best band by miles. So yeah, even with their shy bassist, they put on a great show. The other side is Dark Horse. They got 3 songs. Honestly, I've never really captured me too much, the old Dark Horse, although this has impressed me more. It just seems a bit more full on than their other stuff. I don't own much of theirs other than maybe a split here and there, but I don't know. I've seen them live a few times and yeah, a bit hit and miss, but this just brings the rage a bit more, that's for sure. And it's a bit faster than I remember them being, to tell the truth. So I'm pretty happy with their side. Plus, they've got a sample of Bob Catter. He's like an Australian politician, nothing on the inside, which is quite fitting because today is election day. So after this, I'm going to go vote. Pretty vinyl. And yeah, so the sample of Bob Catter's for any Australian will know exactly what I'm talking about. He's known for saying some strange things, and yeah. The sample on this is bloody good. So, yeah, this came out on Grindhead and Primitive Moth. So, yeah, highly recommended. Killer bloody, just both, wow, one grind and one, I don't know, hardcore-y. Yeah, pretty hardcore. So, yeah, killer bloody stuff. And while we're doing 7 inches, might as well do this one at the same time. This is Filth and General Surgery. This is a split they did from, I don't know, 10, actually probably 20 years ago, I think. As from Carcinoid, was a very nice chap. He sent me a message asking if I was interested in any of the stuff he was going to be putting up for sale, and I said, oh yeah, I'll grab that. And so, nice chap that he is, sent it to me for free, partly because I gave him a killer old Tumbleweed shirt recently, but so thanks mate, I really do appreciate it. He even threw in some stylish Carcinoid stickers. Ooh, I'll put those somewhere, that's for sure. So yeah, I've been after this for donkey's years. I don't particularly need it, to tell the truth, but I have kind of always wanted the Filth side of things as well. I do actually have the General Surgery stuff comes on this collection of deprivation compilations, so didn't particularly need them, but Filth is a Melbourne grind band. I don't know if they're still going. I saw them, it was probably 10 years ago, I suppose. Yeah, I don't know if they're that active, but they're very, let's just say, Bloodduster style. There's a lot of influence there. And plus, according to Metal Archives, this has got Shane Rout, the drummer from the Fisting the Dead first Bloodduster album. So, yeah, I don't know if that's true, but at any rate, he sounds in pretty good form on this. So, yeah, their stuff is, what do you get, 5 songs. And they have the Blood Duster level sense of humor and silliness about them. Some amusing samples and just killer groove, great vocals as well. So I think, oh yeah, that's right. Ooh, very colourful. So yeah, their side's bloody killer. I don't think they ever did an album. I've got like a few of their 7-inches, I think. General Surgery stuff on this. This is like not that long after they sort of reformed and with Addy from Birdflesh on drums. So this is like 2003, I think, or somewhere around there. So it's before they did Left Hand Pathology, I think. So it does have one song from that. It's got The League of Extraordinary Grave Robbers, which is one of my favourite songs on the album, so I'm happy with that. But it's really good, actually. The three other songs I don't think are on anything else particularly, except maybe some demos from around this time. But so, yeah, nice to have those. So thanks again, Az. Love your work. All right, while we're on General Surgery, we might as well stay there. This is one that I got from FOAD, or Fuck Off and Die Records in Italy, I think. This is a recent reissue of their demos from 1990. So originally these came out, I can't even remember what label. There was like a two 7-inch version of this. I'll put a picture of it up because I've always wanted that. It's always been just stupidly expensive or not available. So I'm happy with this reissue. So yeah, this is two demos and like a rehearsal. So you get their Erosive Offal's Malignant Necrotomy demo and their Pestiferous Anthropophagia demo as well. Plus, yeah, rehearsal called... can't actually tell because this stupid Obi strip's in the way, but it'll say it in here somewhere. So, yeah, this is back to very early days of General Surgery. So it had Matty Karki on... I think bass and vocals, and Richard from Dismember on guitars, I think, maybe. Oh no, he's on vocals, sorry. Yeah. I think Matty does some vocals, and I think Richard does the deep ones. Plus it's got Mats from, what other bands was he in? Crematory and Regurgitate on drums, and yeah, Joachim Carlson, who also from Afflicted, who's the only sort of long-running member that's still going in General Surgery. So, and I think the rehearsal actually has Grant, the singer that sang on like Necrology and Left Hand Pathology as well. So, yeah, it changes a bit. First demo is pretty friggin' raw, but bloody killer. I think it's, what is it, Explosive, I don't know, yeah, Erosive Offals. Is it Erosive? Yeah, Erosive, sorry. Offals is just rules. It's got this killer Reek grooviness. One of the things I just love about Reputrefaction, like the Carcass albums, is so much groove to it. And yeah, they really captured it well on this, that's for sure. You also get an early version of Grotesque Laceration of Mortified Flesh that is pretty freaking killer. The second demo is actually recorded at Sunlight Studios with good old mate Thomas Skogsberg, but it's pretty friggin' raw for him, that's for sure. I'm guessing they didn't have much budget, or they just said, raw it up, mate. Make it as raw as possible. But it still sounds friggin' killer. All those songs are on Necrology anyway, like the EP or whatever that came out, I think maybe a year later, or not long after this. So, but yeah, just Succulent Aftermath. The groove on that's so friggin' killer. Oh, sorry, The Succulent Aftermath of Subdural Hemorrhage. Got to read the whole title. On this, they use these raspy vocals for the full Carcass effect, but it actually sounds more like Sexual Urge Motivation, really. So, and then the second side is the rehearsal side of things, and this is like a couple of months before they record Necrology, so it's pretty bloody similar, except a lot rawer. But all the songs are in their final sort of format. And yeah, as I said, it's got Grant singing on it, but those raspy vocals are back, so I assume that's Matty Karki doing the sort of bits. And what do you get? You get ridiculously splattery. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that splattery colouring, really, to tell the truth. I got suckered by the usual, it's a die-hard version, even though there's no real difference, I don't think. So you get a bit of a booklet. It's not exactly extensive. It's still cool, though. I mean, So there's no sort of, liner notes from the band or anything. There's like interview or news article or something in Swedish, which is not the most helpful. So, yeah. Oh, yeah. There. That's what the original cover looks like. Which was put out on... Can I tell? No. Oh, who knows? So, yeah, this essential stuff. I mean, I love General Surgery, and this is just killer early versions. I mean, not everyone loves the demo versions of things, but I sure as shit do. So, yeah, for me, essential stuff. You can probably guess what the next couple of FOD ones are that they're reissues essentially that I just needed really. This next one, I'll show you that much of the cover because it's a bit naughty, and I've been in trouble before. So this is Hemdale. Can You Smell the Stench compilation, which has all that stuff. Hopefully I can get away with a skeleton instead of the not very pleasant album cover. So this has got all their stuff. I'll show you the inside at least. So you get sort of, nice sort of bit of a write-up from, I think it was a bass player maybe that they had later on. For some reason not Matt, but anyway. You do get a cool booklet as well that has, oodles of pictures of them recently, plus old ones. I think there's a bit of a write-up in here as well. Let me just check that. Oh no, old flyers and stuff. Sorry, turning pages. Oh, newer flyers. Very nice. They played with Mellow Harsher. That would have been fun. Oh, and yeah, there's an interview with the drummer as well. So, killer bloody stuff. Comes on vaguely coloured vinyl. Now, the reason why I don't particularly need this, to tell the truth, I've pretty much got almost all of this. So it has the demo, which I own. It has the split stuff from their split with Exhumed, of which I have on CD and record, of course. It also has their various 7-inches. They're split with Exit 13, split with Disgust. And then their more recent stuff, they're split with Doubled Over. As you can see, I have them all. They're split with Fistula. And also, of course, I have the Rad Jackson compilation. They also put out this split with, who was it, Hemorrhage and Meat Spreader, of which, yes, I have the CD because I'm an idiot. And I even have a solid compilation that Relapse put out that has a track that isn't on anything else other than this new compilation. It has, what the hell is it called? Where'd it go? Come on. Fallen Upon Butchery, that's right. Which is friggin' heavy, I gotta say. So, all of these things I already own. One of the few tracks that I don't already own on this is they have like 2 songs from $4 Ohio Kings compilation LP that I'm still marginally tempted to try and track down. So, yeah, I shouldn't really need to talk too much about Hemorrhage. I encourage you to watch my Relapse Top 30 videos that I'll put a picture of up because I think I ramble quite a bit about them on that. But yeah, this is great to have all this. There is a CD version of this with a boring cover that I'll probably get suckered into buying at some stage as well. So, old stuff is just untouchable, really. Especially the In the Name of Gore stuff, like the split with Exhumed is just amazing stuff. The 7-inch stuff is pretty killer. Because it's kind of good that I've got this now because I don't really pull the 7 inches out very often to listen to because it's a bit of a hassle. So, nice to have them all on here. Of the newer stuff, it's just as heavy. I mean, these guys are just stupidly heavy at their lightest, let alone when they're going super heavy. And yeah, the new stuff has marginally better sound. The vocals don't seem as crazy, but then on the song, I think it's Miley. I assume about Miley Cyrus. I don't want to know. On that one, he gets some crazed screams going again. So I'm sad I never did get to see these guys live. I think they've sort of died in the arse again. The demo stuff, I hadn't actually listened to that for quite a while, so that was good to listen to that. But one thing I don't understand, and I remember when Rad Jackson came out, it was like, oh, all their stuff. It's not. They've got like a demo before it called Internal Rot, which is not on anything. I've never seen it reissued. I listened to it on bloody YouTube yesterday, and yeah, I mean, it doesn't sound amazing. The the proper demo sounds a shitload better, I gotta say. But I don't know why it's not reissued on this. It's not particularly long. There's like 6 songs or something or other. Yeah, I don't understand why that's not there. Maybe no one's got a decent copy of it, but someone did put it on YouTube. It wasn't terrible quality, so maybe the band hated it. That's my suspicion, but at any rate, more Hemdale, the better. You can never have too much Hemdale, so yeah, as I said, I don't need it, but I'm glad to finally have at least those 2 songs from $4 Ohio Kings compilation. I'll still probably try and track that down just for the stupidity of it, but yeah, Hemdale, friggin' raw. Alright, I did an order from, I've done plenty of orders from FOAD, so I was kind of expecting the giant sack that they usually send. I mean, this was 3 LPs and a CD, but in the end I just got normal thingy, but as usual they chucked in a freebie empty cover of, I don't even know what band that is, so if you need this cover, let me know. I couldn't resist this. It's ridiculous. I've had it on CD since it came out, but everyone seems to be covering this cover, but I've shown it before. Who cares? Regurgitate. Kaiju Resurrection. Maybe I will lower that one down a bit. As I said, I've had this on CD for yonks. There's nothing different about this particularly. You get, other than the fact it's on this gigantic friggin' gatefold ridiculousness. Even the same band photo, the boys looking tough, so yeah. Prime goregrind, don't get me wrong. This is absolutely a killer album. Mandatory in my opinion. It's got 38 bloody songs, so I've never bothered learning the song titles to tell the truth. I listened to this heaps, but God knows what songs they are, and yeah, they're pretty bad now that I look at them. But anyway, yeah, short to the point songs, nothing over 2 minutes. Like Urban's the riff master, the guy's a maniac. Good mix on this of, you know, kind of the normal screamed vocals as well as a full pitch shifter style ones. This is produced by Mziko from Nazim, and much better sound obviously than the previous album, Effortless Regurgitation of Bright Red Blood, although I think a lot of purists would be yelling at me for that. I actually think this is a bit tinnier sounding for my liking, really. That's partly why I didn't pick this one for my goregrind video. I picked Sickening Bliss because I like the sound better on that. So yeah, this really needs more bottom end to tell the truth. I've listened to this so much, so it's bloody killer. Now I didn't bother getting the Hate-Filled Vengeance reissue as well because I've already got it on CD and record, so I didn't really need it. So yeah. Well, while we're going, let's go on. From FOAD, I also just chucked this one in at the last minute as well. This is Kaiju split with Druid Lord. I love Druid Lord, so I thought, I don't have that one. Why not? I'll put it on. But Kaiju is like a death metal band from Illinois that sing about monsters, unsurprisingly, with a name like that. It's Japanese for, well, I don't think it actually means monster, but weird creature or something or other. Pretty thin sound, odd sort of raspy vocals, some growling as well. It's good when they go slow, but just messy when they go fast. I'm pretty sure it's a drum machine on this, but it could have been programmed better, let's just put it that way. It's very noticeable on, I think it's Up From the Earth. They do cover the Massacre song Dawn of Eternity, which is somewhat fitting. I'm going to see Massacre next weekend, I think, in Sydney. Should be fun. I'm sure they'll play Dawn of Eternity, but probably not like this. It's pretty normal. I mean, the vocals are a bit weird. Suddenly out of nowhere comes, instead of solo, they do like sort of gothic organ keyboard bit for the solo instead. It's worth hearing just for that, I gotta say. The Druid Lord stuff on this is freaking killer though. Death Doom band from Florida. Friggin' rules. It's very much sort of Hooded Menace style and just early Cathedral sort of style. They actually even, speaking of Massacre, they even get Cam Lee to do guest vocals on, I think it's All Hallows Evil, the second song. Sounds bloody killer. So yeah, their part of this is definite highlight for me, that's for sure. Great cover art as well. Nothing too exciting on the inside, I don't think. Let me just double check that. Come out, you bastard. Now, I will complain though, because this was actually released as fuck it, it's not coming out. Tough luck. This is actually released as a combination package, like with this and also a 7-inch as well, which I scoured the FOD site and couldn't see it, so I don't know if I just missed it or they sold them separately or something. So yeah, and they do have different songs on the 7-inch, which is mildly irritating. So I have the digital version, but I think if I ever see it, I'll grab it. But yeah, I'm not too phased. So yeah, Kaiju, yeah, I'm not going to be tracking their album down, but Druid Lord, freaking killer. All right, next up are a couple I got from Repressed Records in Sydney. This one, yeah, love it. This is Corpus Offal with their self-titled one, which came a little dinged up, which I'm a bit sad about, but oh well, I'll live. This is Texas death metal. This is a band that used to be Cerebral Rot, who are not from Texas, but they obviously split and half of them moved to Texas, or some of them. This is absolutely awesome, this one. I've listened to this a heap. I got a promo version of this a couple of months earlier and just been binging it, something fierce. It's almost like it was written for me, I gotta say. It's like groovy, but also fast, just heavy Finnish death metal style with gurgly vocals. What is it? Essence of Dissolution, I think, is just massive killer groove to it. So bloody killer. They got like all shronky, weird guitar, odd melodies sort of going on as well, like especially on the title track, I think, but it's throughout really. What is it? Ripened Psychosis. It's like just slows to a snail's pace, which sounds tough as hell. So yeah, this is just full on. Well, no, actually not that full on death metal, but just groovy, heavy as hell death metal. Perfect for me, really. I won't say too much more because, yeah, just get it. It's bloody well worth it. It's just on black vinyl. Not the most exciting, but yeah, get it. You would not be disappointed. This album friggin' rules. I think this will be in my top 20 albums of the year, without doubt. Also from Repressed is Worm with their Gloom Lord album. I think it's their second album. This is like Death Doom from Florida, much like Druid Lord. Yeah, this is even more disembowelment-y sounding than their Forever Glade album, which is the one that, yeah, suckered me in, something fierce, that's for sure. There's a few sort of black kind of elements to this, mostly probably just the raspy kind of vocals. This is pre-Phil from like Cathelist and a million other bands doing leads, so they've got Nihilistic Manifesto does the leads on this and does a bloody good job, that's for sure, especially on, I think it's Apparitions of Gloom. So I really love the grandness of, what's the song? Rotting Spheres of Sentient Blackness. Yeah, that's just epic death doom. It's killer stuff. I did listen to their earlier stuff. Yeah, this sounds a lot better, that's for sure. I don't own anything earlier than this. I think they got like one album before this and a couple of tapes or something. They stepped up quite a bit on this, I think. So this is like a recent $20 spin reissue, which has been remastered. So I'm curious to know what the original Iron Bonehead press of this would have sounded like. I don't know if there's any difference, maybe not, but it's just on black vinyl, but cool. And old mate sitting around in a swamp. Love it. You get this ridiculous poster, which is just a cover art, and I think that photo on the back, which I am not folding out. It's huge. So, yeah, happy to get this. I still think I kind of prefer Forever Glade as probably my peak version of Worm, I think. The newer stuff didn't quite grab me as much as Forever Glade, but, yeah, so if you like Disembowelment or Evoken, yeah, Worm, killer band. All right, next up is one I got from the band at a gig that I went to recently. The same one with Blightworms and Anti-Sapien. This is Grim Ripper with their, what's that bloody called? Into the River of Oblivion album. This came out on Grindhead and Primitive Moth just recently, that's for sure. There is also an LP version of this with Chris Hades cover art, I think, from Sad X. But I thought, I'll grab the CD, what the hell. So, yeah, I got to thank these guys because they did send me their EP beforehand, which I reviewed, I don't know, a couple of years ago. So I decided I want to buy this one though. So it's kind of difficult to categorize this band. They sort of death metal, but it's got some punky sort of riffing and just differing metal styles within it. So they do what they want, which is kind of what I appreciated about it. It's not sort of, one style that you know exactly where it's going to go. The vocals on this are kind of a combination of, there's some deep growls, but it's mostly this sort of throaty, I wouldn't say yell, but sort of, and I wouldn't say sung sort of style. I don't know, you got to hear it. This sounds quite a bit better than they did live. I mean, they sounded pretty good live, except for the fact the bass player was so loud and had this sort of clean sound. I don't know if it was the mix or he just turned his amp up too much. It was distracting, that's for sure. So I was pleased to have a listen to this. I'm pretty sure this was recorded on like a desk or a bit of kit from Abbey Road that I don't know if the Beatles actually used. It was from Abbey Road Studios at any rate, so it sounds bloody great on this. There's even a bit of misery sort of feel to it in parts, I think. I think my favourite song on here is probably Blood Trail. I got that stuck in my mind, Something Fierce, yesterday, so it's all pretty good. I didn't particularly care for Litanies of Satan. I don't know, it was, not really my thing. The song Savagery and Innocence uses the lyrics to The Tiger by William Blake pretty effectively as well, so there's smart chaps. So yeah, this is a grower, I've got to say. When I first put it on, it didn't really blow me away, but yeah, I've been listening to this more and more of late, especially in the car because it's CD. It does have their a few songs from the EP beforehand, including the classic Get Ripped or Get Fucked, which is so Aussie. It's it's beautiful stuff. So yeah, but really quite enjoyed this, I got to say. I'll show you the CD. Looks pretty spiffy. So yeah, I'll be looking forward for more of these guys. So yeah, Grim Reaper. These guys are from Tassie, including my old mate Dave, who I've known for many a year. Good old Feeblaw. So yeah, check it out. I'll put links to all this stuff below. So yeah, good stuff. All right, next up are a couple more I got from Facebook, from Josh. Thanks, mate. First up is Screaming Afterbirth. I love that band name. With Drunk on Feces. This came out many years ago on Bizarre Leprous. This is a US kind of death grind sort of style. I kind of knew these guys from this compilation, United States of Goregrind, that I think I would have bought this probably for the Negligent Collateral Collapse stuff, but I think that might be the first time I heard Devourment, maybe, which does have Baby Killer. Great song. But the other bands was Corporal Raid, I think, really quite impressed, and as did Screaming Afterbirth. So this was like $10 or something. I'm like, yeah, of course, I'm going to buy that, and not that easy to find from all reports. So yeah, this is kind of like your Waco Jesus or Leviticity sort of style, like that kind of full-on death grindy sort of stuff. But pretty sloppy. I actually quite like the sloppiness of this. It kind of adds to the yeah, maybe I won't show that. Just adds to the fun. So yeah, pretty basic death grindy sort of stuff. You get a couple of covers. There's a cover of Blood, and there's also the song Cremated by Mortician. They do a pretty good version of, but their own songs are bloody killer. Yeah, I won't read those song titles out. The other stuff I got from Josh was this Hatred Surge compilation. It's all their stuff from 2008 to 2009. This is like a power violence band from Texas, I think. So on this you get the Deconstruct LP plus a couple of EPs as well, one of which I believe I owed, but oh well. Isolated Human and I think Servant Bestial EPs. So it's pretty good stuff. This is, I don't know, kind of like not quite pure power violence. There's a bit of grind to it as well. There's both male and female vocals, with some growls. I like the trade-off of the male and female vocals. It doesn't always work for me. I remember Despise You not clicking for ages until I saw them almost. But on here, it works pretty bloody well. And yeah, as I said, it's pretty grindy for power violence, but yeah, I'm not complaining whatsoever. There's even guest vocals on here from, as he's referred to, Gargling Urine, which is actually Rari from, Insect Warfare. And the album itself has Chris from, what are they called, Mammoth Grinder and Power Trip and Innumerable Forms on guitars as well. So Isolated Human EP's sort of more fast gory kind of style songs. And the last EP, the Servant Bestial, is weird, experimental, almost industrial sort of stuff. So, but yeah, this came out on Blast as Fuck Records from Melbourne, so I don't know why I didn't pick this up at the time, to tell the truth, but killer bloody stuff. Now I've got to try and track down their Human Overdose LP, which I kind of thought I didn't enjoy and then listened to the other day and went, oh shit, this is bloody great. Oh well. So yeah, good old Hatred Surge. I know I did see these guys at that Chaos in Taos gig, I think, along with Autopsy. They were killer. All right, next is one you may have seen other people talking about. I wouldn't be surprised. This does the rounds. This is Chestcrush with their something in that. I am not going to pretend that I can pronounce that. It means soul extractor, apparently, but yeah. I'm not even going to try. I have seen it written in English as opposed to Cyrillic, but yeah, nah, tough luck. This I heard playing in the background. A lot of the time I dislike people, that do the same thing as me, having loud music in the background, or I don't know, it can be distracting at times. And plus, half the time people will mention, "Oh, I'm playing bloody Slayer in the background." You can't even hear it at all. So I don't know if it's microphones that isolate just the vocals, or it had to be killed by YouTube algorithm or what. But Metal Miners, good on Anthony. He plays it loud, which is good. I mean, occasionally you can't hear him very well, but I like being able to hear it in the background at least. And he was playing this the other day on one of his videos, and yeah, I was already listening to it too much, being distracted from what he was saying, and then I was like, what the hell is this? And then he mentioned it, and yeah, before the end of the video, I'd ordered this from their Bandcamp because, freaking killer. So yeah, this is, I encourage you to check out Metal Miners. He does a damn fine job. Good on you, mate. But yeah, even half hearing it in the background, I could tell I needed this. So this is Scottish. I don't know, it's listed as Black Death, but it's pretty much just death metal, I think. It reminds me of Wormed quite a bit, so it's that level of friggin' full-on, friggin' heavy as hell. Modern, clean sort of sound, but thick stuff. Oh, it sounds wonderful, I gotta say. I've been binging on this quite a bit, as, I ordered it and then, of course, downloaded it via their Bandcamp at the same time, and then listened to it 10 times before the record actually arrived, so... yeah, quite a bit of sort of kind of chugging guitars. You could almost refer to it as sort of semi-brutal death metal. I'm not quite sure. Maybe this is young person death metal. I don't know, but that's bloody killer, that's for sure. Plenty of blast and stupidly fast double bass work. The drummer is a session dude in a lot of other bands. Robin Stone is Aussie guy. He's in Convulsing and Sargophagum, and was in like the Amenta, and does session work for a squillion bands, including Lightbreaker and Paroxysm. So he knows what he's doing. That's for bloody sure. The main guy in this band is Evan. I'll show you the boys, looking tough. Not sure what's going on that one, but at any rate. So yeah, main guy Evans is in Caustic Phlegm as well, and I've been meaning to track down that newish album of theirs because the cover art's so good, but it hasn't quite blown me away, I gotta say. I don't own it yet, but I've listened to it a few times. Yeah, I'll give it another go. So he does the rounds, and there's earlier Chestcrush albums or EP or something or other, which didn't sound quite as good as this. He's stepped up, I think. And it's got singer as Topias or something or other, a Finnish guy. He's in a ton of other bands as well, but yeah, his massive booming voice, everything sounds spot on this. It's freaking killer. I think it was Existence's Punishment as it's probably a standout song as this sort of dirgy slow start, and then this killer chuggy groove riff, and just killer slow double bass. And I think that's what suckered me in the background of Anthony's video. I was like, oh, dude, that sounds great. I think it's Hang Them, Torch Them's another ripper as well. But yeah, everything on here is freaking awesome. And I mean, look at that cover art as well. I also got suckered by that. It's from Vladimir Chebakov, apparently. So I think this comes on. Oh yeah. Ooh, shit. Ooh. I just got I don't know if it's a sticker, I think, just fell on the ground of their logo, which, not a big fan of that logo, to tell the truth. I think they could do better than that. This did come as a t-shirt package, but didn't really grab me, so I've probably got enough t-shirts at this stage. But yeah, this album friggin' rules. As I said, if you like Wormed, anything heavy and really full on, definitely check out Chestcrush. Links below. Next up are a couple I got from Seasons of Mist. First up is Imprecation with their Vomitum Tempestus. This is like an EP, I think. I mean, it is 7 songs, but I don't think it's a full length, really. This is Texas dark death metal. This is their final release with their drummer Ruben, who unfortunately died in 2021. So he features on, I think, 5 of these songs, and their new drummer Matt features on 2 other ones as well. So honestly, at first this didn't sound as heavy as I expected in the first song, but then once it slows down, oh, heavy as balls, that's for sure. This is actually mixed by like Harris Johns from like, ye old thrash albums of many a year. So yeah, did a great job. The production's marginally cleaner than normal, but music's still tough as hell, that's for sure. They have like an ageless kind of sound to them, these guys. Much like, your Sadistic Intent just always sounds like they're, recording in 1991 or something or other. So I think it was Devil's Furnace did seem a bit clunky, bits of weird timing, so maybe that was still a sort of demo era stage, but I think it's Ancient Portals of the Faceless Lord was just a speedy ripper with this charming like sample at the end, or drum beat with screaming and pillaging going on. I love it, love a good pillage sample, that's for sure. So yeah, very very bloody spiffy. It's just on black vinyl, but it's the boys standing around looking tough. So yeah, I hadn't heard anything about this. I think, who did I see it on? I don't know, someone or others plugged it on the upcoming stuff. I was like, hey, I did not know that existed. So great work. This did come out on Nuclear War Now Productions, so you could get it from them pretty easily. But for some reason I got it from Seasons of Mist. I don't know why, but so yeah, a nice little tide over and a good tribute to Ruben. But honestly, I'm waiting on a new album of these guys because I'm sure that will absolutely kill. Because yeah, these guys rule. All right. And the other thing I got from Seasons of Mist is pretty much completing my what I need of Misfits is Static Age. Their sort of their first album, you could say. Yeah, this is for some reason I thought this was rare as buggery, but so I snagged it. But I don't know if it really is. But I mean, the original versions of this, although this did actually only came out in 1997. So this is weird. This is the first album they recorded, but then didn't get released, and it got chopped up into like a couple of EPs, and some songs weren't released, and I don't know, it was all a drama of some variety. But yeah, I mean, I'm coming to this, decades later, so it wasn't new for me. So I reckon it would have been a fun time in 1997 when this finally came out, if you're a Misfits fan, to suddenly hear, I can't remember what song it was. I think In the Doorway, the last song, wasn't released at all until this. But yeah, I love it. I've been ODing on these guys so much of late. It's such great driving music, because I have to drive to Canberra back for work pretty regularly. So yeah, these guys get a run, that's for sure. And as I think I've said in my previous videos, I kind of prefer this earlier style to the later, slightly more metal version on Earth AD sort of stuff. This is just so catchy, just mandatory sing-along. Every song on this rules. My favourites are probably Hybrid Moments, Teenagers from Mars, Hollywood Babylon. It's all great. I really love the super fast drumming on Last Caress and Attitude, and of course the bass on what the hell song was it? Return of the Flies, bloody killer. Honestly though, this is the shittest cover art ever of Misfits. It's terrible. You get sort of a bit on the inside. It's just black vinyl. I couldn't even recognise the band on this photo. I assume that's Danzig. I mean, that'd have to be Jerry as well. And yeah, interesting look the drummer has. But yeah, who's the guitarist? Franche Coma. But I just I assume that's very young Danzig. So, but yeah, this is just mandatory stuff. I'm glad to finally have this actually on record. So I don't think I need much else. I don't know. None of the later era Misfits has really grabbed me. I probably should give the Michael or whatever his name is era stuff a bit more of a go. But I think I need Collection 2 maybe. But I don't know. I'm not that anal that I need to hear, this is a slightly different recording of the same session of that song. So yeah, as far as I know, I've got most of the Misfits now, so yeah, this album friggin' rules. Alright, and last but not least, I ordered this directly from Extreme Music because I saw it, they plugged it on Facebook, and I was like, buy. Basically, this is Drowned Productions, like the 7-inch collection from 1991 to 93. So Drowned Productions was an earlier version of Extreme Music that was also, what was their other bloody name? I don't know. So all by Dave Rotten from Avulsed, his various labels over the years. And Drowned was their real early one that he did like mostly 7 inches and maybe some CDs, but and yeah, this is a compilation of a heap of their 7 inches that they put out, basically. So there's a batch of big names on here, but a batch of like, who the hell are those? This is mostly demo sort of level recording. Batch of these bands I'd never even heard of, and for good reason. A batch of them, or actually one of them, what is it? I think it's Intoxication. This is their only release, is this 7 inch that they did for these guys. So it's 2 CD one, and you get a booklet, which is pretty cool. I might have looked a bit better on big vinyl. You do get a write up from Dave talking about it, and each 7 inch you get nice scans of the cover art and the like. So yeah, damn good value. The reason why I bought this so rapidly and sort of waiting for anyone in Australia to get it is because I missed out on that Thrash Records one, which was pretty much the same type of thing, old 7 inches or whatever that they put out. It was 500 released of their Thrash compilation that I managed to miss from Underground Force Productions, which I'm still sad about. So one day I'll track that down. But this freaking killer. Honestly though, I didn't even need half of this stuff. Like, as far as the big names it's got Pertinence with their Crown Waits the Immortal, which I already have on their reissue version of this. And interestingly, this one's been remastered. This one, he specifically says in the liner notes, he didn't remaster anything. So yeah, the Pertinence one on here does sound notably not as good. It also has Immortal Fate with their Faceless Burial one, which I've already got, but I mean, that rules as well. I mean, don't get me wrong there. It's good to have them all on this. The best best tracks on here are probably the Darkified Sleep Forever 7 inch that they put out, which, yeah, I also have, of course. As far as the other name sort of bands, there's a Deteriorate 7 inches they put out that I have, but it's in the shed. I couldn't be bothered getting it out. An Imprecation as well, a Sigil of Baphomet killer EP. Yeah, I've already got on this. So yeah, it was probably a little not the most useful as far as those bands go, but all the other bands are quite interesting. There's no mega super duper underground amazing standout on here. I think it's Beelzebub. There's like a Swedish death metal one. That's pretty damn nice. It's reasonably basic Swede death sort of style, but what else do you get? Severance is like a American kind of thrashy death metal sort of style. Pretty average, but there's a hint of Rototom. And one of the things I love so much about all these sort of demo-y bands is the enthusiasm and just trying to push themselves beyond their capabilities, because occasionally it doesn't work too well, and it's like, well, at least you tried. I appreciate the effort. So as far as the other ones go, yeah, Intoxication was the one with only one release. I mean, a batch of these have got like 2 demos and then this, and that's all they wrote. I think it's Spontaneous Combustion. A batch of these are Spanish because, Extreme's a Spanish label. So, yeah, what was it? Spontaneous Combustion has this like wacky keyboardy sort of bit that's super cheesy. It's great. There is a band on here, Catacomb, with In the Maze of Kadath, which you probably would have seen. I think it's The Crypt. I think reissued that. And initially I thought, I wonder if that's the same Catacomb that I've got. I've had this 7 inch forever. But no, this is the Italian Catacomb, whereas the one on here is the Spanish, I think. No, French, sorry. So, and then I thought, maybe it's that Funeral Doom band that I know I have, but no, this is Catacombs, plural, so it ain't them either. So, I mean, the one on here, the French one, is pretty decent, kind of atmospheric death metal with some widdly sort of solos. So, yeah. But yeah, the name bands really are the killer ones on here. Imprecation and Darkified are probably the highlights, but Pertinence and Mortal Fate, you can't go wrong with them. So, yeah, I was very pleased to pick this up. This has been rotated in the car pretty regularly. It's marginally irritating on the back. I mean, they do have the full track listing on there, but on the back they don't actually say what numbers, which band. So I'm like going, track 14, what the bloody hell? Which band is that? So I'll just whinge about that. But yeah, definitely worth checking out. It's a really good sort of, document of early 90s death metal, and that's pretty much what all of the bands sound like. There's sort of hints of bit of black metal in a couple of them, but predominantly death metal stuff. So, and yeah, the style of 1991 to 1993. So yeah, I'm glad this came out. There should be more of these sort of compilation-y things, I think, because there's no way I'm tracking down all the originals of that. I would probably buy their Mortal Fate and Darkified ones if I could find them, but yeah, I'm not holding my breath. But yeah, bloody awesome. All right, so that was my usual, probably reasonably lengthy collection update. May's already got a batch of stuff written down, so if it all arrives, yeah, that might be a lengthy one as well. I'm not sure what my next video will be. Who can tell? Maybe I'll do another crap from the shed sort of one. But anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you again soon. Cheers.